You're listening to That Home Loan Hub. I'm Zibuni Salimova, here to make home loans and property investing simple, smart and stress-free. Let's get you closer to your property dreams. Hello and welcome back to That Home Loan Hub. Today we're going to talk about something that will scare the bejesus out of you. So stay tuned. Hello, James.
Morena.
I love how you're my partner in crime in scaring people.
Yeah, I have nothing to do with this really.
This is two scary people delivering some sad news for the future. So what have we talked about just before when we thought we were recording and we were not recording, but now we're recording again?
Yeah, well, for the record, that was a really good conversation. I'm just really hoping we can repeat it.
All right, let's recreate. So we got worried about New Zealanders because you went to that conference and there was a professor giving a speech.
Yeah, a Massey professor. Look, it's something I've been thinking about for a long time, and I know I've brought it up here with reverse mortgages, and I can see some of the institutions that provide those reverse mortgages are doing really, really well. There's so much growth in those businesses, but that's due to the aging demographic changes that are going on, and that you have. The baby boomer generation are now going into retirement. So what we have, but at the same time, we have a lot less children being born. Natural reproduction, I suppose you'd call it. So we actually have a declining birth rate. So more people are dying in New Zealand than are being born.
Wow.
The only reason now, but our population continues to grow at world-leading pace. Mm-hmm. That's because of the net immigration that comes to New Zealand. But generally speaking, there's a lot less young New Zealand people compared as a ratio against the retired generation, those over 65. Why that's a bit of an issue is because, governments get their tax from the working class, from working people, and that tax is used to pay for pensions and all that sort of thing of older people. If there's going to be far more older people in the future than younger people, there's going to be a real clash in sometime in the near future. Because it can't carry on the way it is. The way I think about it is that I don't think government is going to be able to provide me. I'm assuming the government is not going to provide me any income in my retirement.
Yeah. And I think that was the key takeaway from our earlier discussion is that assume nothing. Yeah. Assume you will get nothing when you retire.
Yeah.
And if you assume you'll get nothing and you start from that position, you got to work it out backwards. Okay, how much money will I need when I retire coming in? Because even if I have a freehold house, I still have expenses to pay. I still have rates and insurances that will be a fixed cost that will continue to go on. Yep. And if I'm not having as many babies, like for instance, you said earlier in our conversation that on average before a woman you would have 2 kids and now it's dropped down to 1.5.
Yep.
So, you won't have as many kids to look after you. For instance, and as you said, in New Zealand, the culture of kids looking after their parents is not as high, right?
We're sort of just waiting for them to,
go to retirement
to get
village.
their money.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like in Asian countries, usually people live together. You have multi-generational families living together. In New Zealand, people live apart. You'll have grandparents living separately, kids living separately, grandchildren living separately.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll change. But I was really interested to learn at this conference that China doesn't have a pension.
Whoa.
I was shocked, and they've got one of the biggest aging demographics of all. So they've got a really interesting situation there as well, which will impact, as I understand it, is impacting how many people are actually allowed to leave China and go and live in other countries because they're so aware now of their decreasing population and how it's going to impact the economy. So that'll have impacts on New Zealand. But yeah, we've really got to, here in New Zealand, we've really got to start focusing on, living in the now, having a good time, sure, but having some discipline about what we can use our extra money, a little bit of extra money, getting into a property, paying it off as quick as you can, building up that equity, perhaps getting another property, like we were discussing, and also building that KiwiSaver.
Yeah, because in our unrecorded discussion, we talked about how people are doing such a fantastic job building up their KiwiSaver to use for their first home purchase, right? So they'll work really hard. They'll put 10%, 8%, get to a point where they've got 10% deposit for a property. So they might have 50K and then 100K and whatever. And then they start from zero again. And this is where it's important not to just leave it at zero and maintain the mortgage repayments plus your KiwiSaver. Even if you go and start again from 3% or 4% and then slowly build yourself up again, absolutely that will make a difference by the time you retire, because you might still have another 20 to 30 years by the time you can use your KiwiSaver again. So don't just dismiss it as a distant long future. I don't want to think about it. This is important. And making sure that you also shop around for that KiwiSaver, because different funds charge you different fees and have different outcomes. And the outcomes could be, tragic or amazing, because it could be the difference having 200K by the time you retire or 50K.
Yep.
So definitely, that's something to think about. And then when it comes to our profession, as you just mentioned before, how do you maximize the property you have in building that property portfolio? Because in the future, that's where you would be deriving your income from. As the rent comes in, that's your income to go and splosh on wine and
grandchildren and you know what I mean. But yeah, that compounding thing is really important. It works for you with KiwiSaver. So you need to, I know I see clients wrestling with this idea. They've worked and have built up this really nice KiwiSaver, and then, we've got to use it all. We're going to use it all for a deposit in our house. But yeah, they're still quite really young, sometimes early 30s or late 20s. And so plenty of time to get that cranking again. And like we said, you can pay more into your KiwiSaver. I know in Australia they did 10%, and their super scheme is world class. We're just a little bit behind them because we started about 20 years later. But that if we get stuck into it now, you'll get the benefits of it upon retirement, and you don't even notice it. It comes out of your, salary. So it's just a habit. Yeah,
and next year the employers have to put in more than 3%, so it's slowly going to go up to 4%. And all those little bits help, and now you can contribute up to 10% as well. So if you are smart about your money and, making small sacrifices here and there, we're not saying stop living, but making small sacrifices and actually topping up. And, the other day I discovered, not promoting a particular bank, but I've got this credit card with this particular bank, and it's got points. Right? You get points. Yeah. And I discovered if you had a KiwiSaver with that particular bank, you can actually transfer your points to the KiwiSaver. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. So instead of spending it in a shop like I normally would, I would build up the points to a certain point, and then I could spend those things in no living or farmers or whatever. And usually I'll buy technology or something for the kids. But the other day I noticed you could actually transfer those dollar amounts to your KiwiSaver. Wow. And even if it's like $50, $100, $200, whatever, it makes a difference.
That's
as
cool.
You say, it's compounding effect. So look out for things like this as well, that not necessarily not costing you anything, but you could benefit from it as well. And that's why I'm not saying which particular bank.
No, that's right.
Not unless they pay me and I can promote them. Awesome. Well, James, thank you so much. Do you have anything else to add?
I just wanted to quickly add that I am, just a quick plug for the 10% in the KiwiSaver. If you can do it, I'm seeing a huge difference between those clients who've been contributing 4% and those contributing 10%. It's quite often, it's clear it's double. So if you are able to contribute that extra, that's really awesome. Just do the best you can without, reducing your lifestyle too much.
Yeah, fantastic. Awesome. Well, guys, that's a wrap. A quick summary. Basically, don't be scared to live right now, but do be scared about the future if there is no income for you, and start preparing today. Because if you prepare today, you won't be as scared when it comes to your retirement, and you will have income coming in, and you don't have to rely on part-time jobs when you're in your 70s and
exactly.
80s. Like actually people in China, they still work, you know.
Yeah.
If you want to know more, do reach out to us, because we can sit down with you. We can model it out for you in the future of how much money do you actually need to retire. So please reach out. Would love to help you. And until next time. And that's a wrap on that Home Loan Hub. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join me next time for more property tips and tricks. Your next smart move starts here.